All right, so what happens at that hearing? And sometimes with these, they may first do this more informal, just meeting discussion. They'll explain the reason you're being terminated. Obviously, you can represent yourself. You can provide your information on what your side of things are. You can get an attorney. You can contact South Carolina Legal Services to seek help with that. Usually, that's the best thing to do. Once they make their decision from that meeting, they have to tell you what that decision is, give you the details of that decision. If you're not satisfied with it, you can ask for that full hearing with a hearing officer. Usually that tells you a time frame in that. One thing that I would say is with those kind of discussions and with having that kind of meeting with the housing authority or the property manager for the housing authority, one thing you want to be careful of is just be careful of what you say. Anything that you say at these, can be used against you later when you're in court or an eviction, because they can testify that if you said, one thing or what you told them at that meeting. So I usually advise people just be careful of what you're saying, and be aware of that when you're having that meeting or any hearing with a hearing officer. So when you have a hearing with a hearing officer, you can obviously see the documents as we talked about. If they don't give you a document or provide you a document when you requested it, then they can't use it against you in the hearing or in the court. So that's an important thing to remember. If they don't respond, they don't give you that right, then they can't really use it. So again, keep in mind the right to an attorney contacting us at South Carolina Legal Services. You can also get a private attorney or try to get someone to assist you with that. And it's similar in a way, these kind of hearings, and my experience with the hearing officer is kind of similar to an eviction with a magistrate. You have a hearing officer. The hearing officer may or may not be an attorney. Some housing authorities I've seen do it very different. It has to be someone who's not involved with that particular department. It could be an employee of another department of the housing authority. I've seen sometimes housing authorities where they will have community volunteers. I've seen some where they will get either law school students or the other attorneys that they will kind of contract out to be the hearing officers. So it is very similar in that way. It's a more informal process. A lot of times they will record it. Sometimes they don't. If you want it recorded and they're not recording it, you may want to bring in a tape recorder or discuss that with them ahead of time if you want to have a record of kind of what's said.